Astros Postcast. Part of Locked On Sports Houston on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well, that sucked. The Astros fall in extra innings today to the Texas Rangers as their home winning streak comes to an end. Not all good things can last forever. Sometimes that's how it goes on a very, very odd Saturday at Minute Maid Park, a game where the Astros kind of walked a tightrope throughout it to kind of survive and hang on a day where they got some hits, didn't have a lot of threats overall outside of that first inning. Just a weird baseball game that also included some just absolutely terrible umpiring. It's as simple as that. Welcome to the Locked On Astros Postcast here this afternoon. Appreciate you guys joining the show today. As we do every game, come on by, say hello, stop by. Let's talk Astros baseball. It would be great if we were talking about a win today, but we just aren't. It's as simple as that. Excuse me. Sorry, my phone's blowing up. My wife's sending me text messages all of a sudden, wanting to not wait for me to go to the store. You got to wait for me to go to the store after this. Hey, today's episode of the Locked On Astros Postcast is brought to you by Booking.com. The right stay can make you a fan of any city, even your rivals. Check out Booking.com today. The Astros losing this one. I'm going to go ahead and get the extra innings out of the way real quick. The Astros' first two at-bats there, they had the top of the order up. Nathaniel Lowe pokes one out the left. They take the lead. The Rangers do there in the 10th inning. Astros had the same opportunity. Obviously, they got Wheels on second base in Trey Cabbage. Do not ask why Altuve did not bunt in that situation. You know why? Because he's Jose Altuve. Jose Altuve can end the game with one swing. Jose Altuve is a Hall of Famer. You aren't asking a Hall of Famer with no outs and a runner on second to bunt. Why? Because, on top of Altuve being able to end the game with one swing, you also have a player there that at second and Trey Cabbage can score on anything hit into the outfield from second base. Any big leaguer worth his weight can score on something into the outfield from second base. That's not an option. Bunting in that situation is not an option. Period. End of story. You're not doing that with Jose Altuve. Obviously, you're not doing it with Bregman as well with two outs. You should be more upset with the Bregman at bat. I mean, he just goes up there and pops one up on the first pitch. I don't mind aggressive. Kirby Yates has been really good for the Rangers this year in save situations. And, if you get a good pitch to hit first pitch, and numbers can prove it out. You go out there and you get a good pitch to hit, you take a swing, you never know. And I see the comments already. You guys, I don't understand what the hate relationship is with Jake Meyers. Jake Meyers didn't have a bad day today. Jake Meyers hit the ball hard like 3 times and hit it hard at somebody 3 times. The Astros didn't lose the game because Jake Meyers today. I tell you that. The Astros lost the game collectively because they couldn't get a hit in the right spot. They hit a lot of baseballs hard in this baseball game. It's one of those situations, too, where, there's days where you go out there and play this sport, and the sport can be dumb, where you smoke baseballs left and right, and they did a lot of that against Eovaldi. I mean, he settled down and eventually got a bunch of strikeouts, but they were still roping baseballs all the time. And again, I see the comments, Myers didn't have uncompetitive swings. You aren't watching the game. Honestly, I question if you're watching the game if that's what you walked away with it. His first 3 at-bats, he hit the baseball hard all 3 times. He lined out, and then he lined out, and then he hit a ball hard on the ground. That's not bad. Putting bat to ball and hitting the ball hard is what you want out of a player. It's what he's done consistently. As a team today, again, they have had multiple times in this game where they hit the baseball hard, just went to right to somebody. And Altuve there in the 9th inning is another example. I mean, he smokes one to third base. It's just one of those days. It's just one of those days where things just don't completely go your way. A lot of things did go the Astros' way in this baseball game. I mean, look, they should have been down by a lot more. It's a miracle that they did not lose this baseball game way earlier. They walked 9 batters today. 9. Arrighetti had 3. King had 3 in his 1 inning. Seth Martinez had 2. And then Taylor Scott had 1. You cannot walk 9 batters in a baseball game. You just can't. They somehow managed to keep the Rangers to just 4 hits. So overall, like, you have to give credit to the pitching staff. Simple as that for keeping the baseball game afloat. It's amazing. They were like a cat with 9 lives today getting through it because they did not have a good day as a staff overall because walking 9 batters is not good. Like and they let off so many innings with leadoff walks. As relievers, it's usually a sin. It's a death nail to a game. And somehow they got through. I mean, 2 or 3 innings in a row with the bases loaded for the Rangers? The Rangers got to walk away from this one saying, oh, my God, how did we win that baseball game after we blew all those opportunities? Should have won it by a lot more. You know? Just absolutely crazy that they were able to escape all those situations like they did throughout the baseball game today. Spencer Arrighetti was good. We're going to give him some love in a couple of minutes. I also did want to give a second here in the opening segment of the Locked On Astros Postcasters. Thank you again for joining us today. Thank you for helping the channel continue to grow. Hit the subscribe button. You can get notifications that we are live every day. And, we do this. We'll do this again tomorrow, 1:10. First pitch tomorrow, the final game ahead of the All-Star break. So the Astros need this one. We'll talk about that later on as well. Ronel Blanco against Max Scherzer. Good pitching matchup on paper. Astros have the edge there. Blanco has been better than Scherzer since he's come back. Scherzer's not been bad by any means, and I'm sure he'll go out there and pitch like Max Scherzer's capable of. But he is a guy that is a little bit up there in age like Verlander now, and the stuff is starting to diminish as he gets a little bit older. So we'll see what the Astros bats can do tomorrow against him. It'll be very interesting with that. But the umpiring crew today, and the crew for the series, but like, specifically what they did. Now, this has nothing to do with the Astros winning or losing overall. Like, it wasn't a play that mattered in the big swing of things. Yes, it could have extended the inning, and one swing can change it. I get that. But the odds, if you put the math to it, they're low that they were going to do anything with that. The Dubon thing in the 9th inning, he was safe. I don't know how replay review looks at that and goes, yeah, he was out. So from the guy calling it on the field to the people in New York or Secaucus or wherever the heck it is, it's just it blows my mind sometimes. They did get a replay review earlier in the game, which is also a just terrible defensive sequence. Arrighetti got lucky. He got so lucky that he, by an inch, beat out that play at first base where those 2 runs didn't score. It was bad on Singleton to not just be aggressive, knowing the runner. It's the tiny little things in games that you have to know as a baseball player, that all baseball players have to know. And that's a spot where John Singleton is caught, it's a mental lapse. You have to know that the runner or the hitter there, Nathaniel Lowe, is not good at running, that he's slow, simple as that. You have to take that ball as John Singleton at first base and rush to first base and make the play on your own. But also, it's actually more egregious because, yes, technically, that's a play that Singleton's so far away from the base that Arrighetti has to cover the base. And he just half-assed it. Simple as it gets. You cannot have that kind of effort in a situation if you're Spencer Arrighetti in that moment. And again, got completely lucky that it was that close on the play. And it worked out. It absolutely worked out. I do want to give him some praise for what he did today on the mound. Let's talk about that here next on the Locked On Astros Postcast. This episode of the Locked On Astros Postcast is brought to you by Booking.com. Booking.yeah. Summer travel, of course, heating on up. It's time to hit the road. Go watch your favorite team, that, of course, being the Astros, and go explore those U.S. cities you have always secretly wanted to learn more about. Yes, we're talking about your rivals' cities as well. I've told you guys for a while now that, well, I've used Booking.com in the past because, well, I used to go travel the United States to go watch the Astros do their thing every single postseason. We would use Booking.com to get on those stays, and it's a great site to do that. You'll enjoy it. You'll come right back to it the next time, and you can go watch the Astros everywhere that you can possibly see them across the United States. The right stay can make you a fan of any city, even your rivals. Book today on Booking.com on their site or in the Booking.com app. And one more reminder before we get back to the discussion of today's game. Passion, drive, and patience, the formula for winning championships, is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. With eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need, prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit only available to U.S. customers. Locked On Astros Postcast here today after a loss that the Astros probably feel like they could have won today. It happens. Simple as that. Sometimes baseball doesn't love you. You can love baseball, and baseball does not love you back. And baseball did not love the Astros back today. They did last night after we got done creep to one game back in the American League West thanks to the Mariners losing to the Los Angeles Angels last night. They will play again, I don't understand the MLB site. It always puts me on the wrong day every single time. Like, I just don't get it when I use their score page on MLB.com. Mariners and Angels will play tonight, 9:30. Is that? No, it's Eastern time. Why is this Eastern time? Again, MLB's great website. I'm not in the Eastern time zone. I'm in the Central. 8:38 first pitch tonight. So probably watch that later tonight. See if the Astros can stay one game back in the American League West. They need it. What they also have needed has been the Astros. What the Astros have also needed is Spencer Arrighetti going out and doing his thing. And they need him to go out there and pitch his butt off most times that his time comes up in the rotation. Because, I talked a little bit about this last night with recently when they had Jake Bloss, even last night. We did talk about this last night. Jake Bloss being in the rotation, like you're going to give him a minute before he is, before you completely evaluate him. Arrighetti's been a lot of up and down. And he's still a rookie, and I can't go overboard on rookies. Simple as that. The Astros, they need Arrighetti, though. He is, how many starts in it? He's 17 starts in now to his big league career, which is going to be interesting to see how they play this. You know how they've always been and how teams are now with pitch limits and innings limits and all that stuff. So I don't know exactly what they're going to do with this, but he has to be this guy more consistently. I'm just going back. That's 2 straight starts. Against Minnesota, he only gave up a couple of runs in his last start, only 5 innings in that one. Today gives it the 1 in 6. And I thought it was really important because in that first inning, it looked like it was going to be a tough day for Spencer Arrighetti. And we've seen a lot of those tough days for him overall this season. He's had some sparkling starts as well. You just go back and you look like the 7 shutout against the Rockies. Now, you of course look at it and you go, the Rockies are terrible, but you still have to go out there and do it. He was unbelievable that day. He had a great start against the Mariners up in Seattle earlier this year. Had a pretty solid start against Oakland. Had a really good start against Milwaukee that, just 2 runs I think were given up that were inherited runners when he came out of the game in the middle of that 7th inning. And then his first start was really good as or not his first start of the month of May was really good against the Cleveland Guardians. So, there's been some stuff sprinkled in, as good as I'm sorry, I'm just responding to a million text messages here because for some reason we can't remember that I'm doing a show live. We need to ask me a million questions about what I want to do for dinner and keep dinging my watch. I just love it sometimes. The Astros lose, though, and Arrighetti's got to continue to bottle this up. He has the stuff. We see it. His sweeper, when it runs, is awesome. It can be a wipeout type of pitch. And it was great today. If he can find that pitch consistently, the Astros are going to be in business. Simple as that. Like, they're going to feel better about the rotation moving forward. You can survive having a Jake Bloss, but it's all about consistency at this point. And there's just not been a lot of consistency out of him at all. And, they're going to have to tune into whatever it might be. I just watch him. I don't think he's ever going to be a guy that has a ton of command. I just don't. He just does not exude command with his, with his delivery per se. He throws it out of a different arm slot that I just think leads to mechanics being a little wonky from the standpoint of you can spray the ball all over the place. That he's going to be one of those kind of guys. That's okay. Like, you don't need your entire staff to be lights out, great at keeping guys off base in terms of walks all the time. Like, you can afford to have a guy or two here or there that, isn't the world's best command artist. It happens. It's okay. So we'll see what happens there. Let's talk about tomorrow's baseball game, because now all of a sudden it's the rubber match of this 3-game series. It was feeling like maybe the Astros would find themselves in a spot where they could go out there and possibly be playing in a game tomorrow that was looking for a sweep, but just did not happen. Period. End of story today. We'll do that here in just a brief moment on the Locked On Astros Postcast. Here on this Locked On Astros Postcast, we, of course, pride ourselves on getting you the latest news for your team. Whether it's the offseason, the draft, spring training, or the playoffs, it's year-round. You know what else is year-round? Collection season. Just because tax season is over doesn't mean the IRS will stop coming after you for your unfiled taxes. The IRS can garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, and even seize your property. Don't let the IRS target you. Let the licensed professionals and tax experts at Tax Network USA go to bat for you. With over 14 years of experience and an A-plus rating by the Better Business Bureau, Tax Network USA has saved their clients over $1 billion in tax debt. Whether you owe taxes, have complicated matters that require tax planning, or finally hit that parlay this season and need help correctly filing, just call 1-800-549-1000 or visit tnusa.com/lockedon. And be sure to mention Locked On Astros Postcast at checkout, and you'll receive a $250 discount off their services. And one more quick message before we get back to some discussion and take a look at tomorrow's baseball game for the Astros against the Texas Rangers, the final one ahead of the All-Star break. I want to tell you guys about getting yourself right, getting your fit right. And you do that with Stitch Fix. StitchFix.com/MLB is the site that you want to head to, and I'll tell you more about that here in just a brief moment. You know that this can be an instant confidence boost, right? Maybe you're lacking it a little bit. It's okay. It's all right. You've gone in that closet, you say, my fit's not looking great. But that's going to make you feel really good when you get the right fit. And that's what you get with Stitch Fix. You can easily upgrade that wardrobe this year with a professional stylist that helps you find new on-trend favorites that will work for you. You just give your fit stylist your size, style, budget preferences, order the box, get what you want. If you love it, and you're gonna absolutely guarantee that you're gonna love it every single time because that's what they're there to do for you. It's style that makes you feel as you look. Now's the best time to get started at StitchFix.com/MLB and get $100 off. That's $25 off your first 4 fixes for a limited time. Again, that's StitchFix.com/MLB for $100 off. StitchFix.com/MLB. Must redeem within 7 days of sign-up. Offer does not include kids' fixes. Locked on Astros Postcast this afternoon after the Astros fall to the Rangers 2-1 in 10 innings. I don't think we've had a lot of these games where it's been like a 2-1 baseball. I don't know if we've had any, to be honest with you, where it's been a 2-1 baseball game this season between the Astros and whoever it is that they're playing this year. I'm just going to scroll through it real quick. No, they had a 2-1 win over Oakland back on the 14th of May. I think it was a Carantini walk-off day. I forgot about that one. So it's their second two. So they're 2-2 now in 2-1 baseball games. Saying all those twos there all of a sudden got a little bit difficult to say. Look, here I go again. Now I'm gonna have like the yips. I'm gonna have a twos tomorrow. Playing that game, important game, right? Must win. I get it. Of course not. If Seattle wins tonight, yeah. You're going to want to go ahead and say must win because the Astros don't want to potentially be 3 games back in the American League West heading into the All-Star break. They could still be tied for the division lead. I will personally hold out some optimism that the Angels tonight will find a way to pull off a miracle and help the Astros get something good in terms of staying 1 game back in the American League West if they can pull it off tonight. But tomorrow's game, I mentioned it earlier, fun matchup on the mound, Ronel Blanco, Max Scherzer for that one. We'll see how it looks. I know that Scherzer has come back and he's looked pretty good. He's 1-2, 309. I think he gave up some home runs the other day it might have been against the Angels. He's susceptible to those. That start against the Angels, he gave up 4 runs, 3 of them earned, a couple of home runs. So that's one area you can find a way to get to. So if you get some guys on base so far this season, he's only made a total of 4 starts, and he's given up 2, 3, 4 home runs. 1 start didn't have any home runs. That was his first start back against the Royals. So we'll see. And it looks like he's built back up to throwing around 100 pitches for the Rangers. So, you expect you're going to get the typical Max Scherzer going to go out there and grunt a lot and get mad, do his thing. And he's a Hall of Fame pitcher. And unfortunately, he was, part of the reason why the Astros lost the World Series in 2019. But I don't want to get myself, I'm already mad that the Astros lost today. So I don't want to get myself too mad in this one. But Ronel Blanco will go tomorrow for the Astros. He's been unbelievable this season. He was great earlier this year in Texas against the Rangers. He carried another no-hitter, like the 6th inning in that one. He had another, of course, he had the other outing against, who did he have that outing? That wasn't against the Yankees, was it? Where he tossed 7 innings of no-hit baseball. I can't remember who it was against. Somebody will tell me. But the Astros should feel good about the matchup. For me, I'd say must win tomorrow because you don't want to go into the break losing 2 in a row, right? You've done so much good to build things back up into the right level of a right spot of where you want to be, and it just didn't happen. It might not happen you could go in there on a sour note. Look, they've accomplished their goal ahead of the All-Star break of getting back to 500 and then pushing ahead of it. Now 5 games over 50 and 45 with the loss today. Texas goes to 45 and 50. But the Astros, they would definitely tell you if they were sitting here next to me, tell you, yeah, of course, we want to go win that baseball game today. Let's hope that the umpiring crew tomorrow isn't as god-awful as they were today, even though that was not, it was not the thing that cost the Astros the game by any means, but simple as that. They need to not be as awful in that one. Join us again tomorrow, 1:10 first pitch. So we'll be live around 4 o'clock or so with the post-game reaction to what goes on out there on the field. Appreciate you guys stopping by, saying hello. As always, if you're new to the channel, whether you're watching it live or later, please hit subscribe. I would appreciate it. The channel appreciates it. It makes everything bigger and better. We got a lot to talk about with the Astros moving forward. You guys have a great rest of your Saturday afternoon. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow right here on the Locked On Astros Postcast.